Oftentimes I get a memory of an emotion, or I remember like, oh, that was a bit of an overreaction. I wonder if I should maybe dive into that. Hello and welcome back to Sarah Refined. My name is Sarah and this is a part 2 to a series on healing your inner child. If you're new to my channel, welcome. First of all, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy what you see today. Here we talk about self-development in the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial sides. So join us if you are brand new here. So if you haven't seen the first video, I'll link it right down below and it's also right there. But that's just basically my story, and I basically just read a journal from 7 years ago when I was absolutely certain that the world was against me. And I talk about how the childish aspects were coming out and how I am now beginning to heal them. But this video is going to share the techniques I use to actually heal those parts when I come across journal entries like that. Wow, that was a run-on sentence if I've ever heard one. This video is going to pick up where the last one cut off. So without further ado, let's get into this video. I've been talking about myself for way too long. I would like to throw this over to you. So now I have 3 prompts for you that I encourage you to sit with and make time for if you are ready to heal your inner child, or if you're even just interested in trying it out. See if it works for you. Number 1 is identifying the feeling. Number 2 is sitting with the feeling, going back to how you became that way. When was the first time you really felt that way? And then step 3 is closing your eyes and meditating, or just writing a letter to your younger self, reassuring them that they have everything they need and that they are safe, or give them whatever reassurances you needed back then. So step 1. Identifying the feeling. What is your last negative emotion or negative response to a situation that you can recall? It can be anything. Just take a second and bring it up to your mind. And then write down the situation in your journal. Step 2, identifying when you first felt that way. Now this part you might want to be alone, or if you aren't going to be alone, have someone in the room that you can feel vulnerable with, because you might cry. I know I sometimes do when I'm doing this part. And I would also suggest maybe don't do it right away. Oftentimes I get a memory of an emotion, or I remember like, oh, that was a bit of an overreaction. I wonder if I should maybe dive into that. So I just jot it down in my notes app on my phone, because it's often when I'm out for a walk or like out with friends or something, it just kind of something comes up. And then later on, when I actually have time to sit with it, that can be a few days or weeks later, that's when I dive into it. So don't feel like you have to do step 2 right away. Instead, when you're ready, grab your journal and grab your pen, and then just start. Start with, I reacted because, and just let your pen sit there, take some deep breaths, and let it come to you, because the answer is in you. And it's honestly, it's probably not that far down. This could be 3 sentences that you write that you can just sit back and go, whoa, yeah, that's how I feel and that's why. Other times it might take you 3 pages. But because of this, you're gonna be able to go back and pinpoint specific spots in your childhood and in your life of where you felt like this and where this feeling and emotion started from. Because it's mostly a defense mechanism. I think all of us in life, we just wanna feel safe. Obviously, rereading this, I did not feel safe. So that's something that I would suggest you try as well. When you're writing down and identifying what the first time was you felt this way, ask yourself what you needed back then. Was it that you needed words of affirmation to tell you you were doing a good job? Or did you need to feel safe like I did? Did you need to feel wanted? Did you feel like you weren't getting those? Write down what your inner child and what the child version of you needed. And then finally, step 3, either meditate or write yourself a letter to your child version, telling them what they needed to hear. For me, I like to do the meditation style because I'm more of a visual person, but if that feels weird to you or uncomfortable, you don't have to do that. Writing a letter to 6-year-old you, or whatever age you were, that's good enough. If you sit there in your meditation, don't meditate if that's not something you like to do, but close your eyes, picture little you, and you get to go back and tell them, hey, you're safe. No one else is going to be allowed to hurt you, because I will look out for you. And I'm coming back from the future to tell you that no matter what happens, you are going to be okay. You are safe. I've got you. So I close my eyes, and in my head, I go back until I find that version of the child version of me. And I look down at her, I pick up her hands, and I tell her, hey, you're gonna be okay. In fact, you are okay. I know this one spot is really scary and you're really nervous and you don't feel safe right now, but your mom's got you. She's never gonna let anything bad happen to you. Your dad, He is so excited for you to come visit, and he's gonna take care of you. He'd never let anything bad happen to you. And your brothers and your sisters, they can't wait to see you again. You are so wanted and so needed. This is the great part about doing the work. Because even when you're doing an example for somebody, it can be very therapeutic yourself. So going forward, when I feel alone and lonely, or I start feeling depressed, I'm able to start questioning and understanding it's not that you're afraid of being alone, it's that you don't feel safe being alone. And it's not that you're upset and you don't know why, but you honestly feel like it's not safe for you to be happy right now. Telling yourself that you're safe is a good start, or at least it is for me. Leora Alexandra had a video about abundance, and she talked about how it's not that we want to be able to enjoy trips or have money for retirement, it's about feeling safe. And I think that goes for all points of our life. We're not angry because someone cut us off, it's because we felt unsafe and we felt like our life was at risk. So everything kind of comes down to us feeling safe. And as children, we need to feel safe, because when you don't, you're gonna start creating all these defense mechanisms. You're rewiring your brain to think of situations so differently and so skewed so that you don't ever have to put anyone else in that kind of situation. Last thing I'm gonna say, because this is going on longer than I thought it did, probably because my impromptu therapy session for myself. In the same Leora Alexandra video that I mentioned, I'm gonna link it down below, because why not? She also spoke about how she's been finding it helpful to go back and tell her past self things she's learned now. And that's something that I'm also going to try to do now as well. And so when I think about my child self, I'm not just gonna tell her she's gonna be okay and that she's safe. I'm gonna start telling her how to cope with things. This is just yet another reason why I love journaling so much, because I know I've had a lot of growth, and the people closest to me can see that I've had a lot of growth. But when I look at my old journals, I can go back to those emotions that I felt 7 years ago and heal those as well. Because I don't have depressive moments like this anymore. I still get them sometimes, and I don't know why. But I've never felt this low, and not as low as I felt for the next 4 months or 3 months after. And it's so amazing to be able to go back and heal her and heal 21-year-old me or 20-year-old me. I'll have a couple links down below on some articles that I really like that explain shadow work really well. Let me know what you thought about this. And if you do your inner child healing, I wish you the best of luck. That is my video for today. It got a little more deep than I expected it to, but you know, I don't hate it. I feel really, really great about it. I'm kind of excited to edit it. Hopefully it's not trash. Thank you so much for subscribing and being here, and click subscribe if you haven't yet. Give this video a thumbs up on your way out if you haven't yet, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.